Hey, it's Mack with PriceActionTradingSystem.com. And it's Monday, it's March 20th. This will be our chart lesson for the day. And really, it was just a range day today, although we did have a fairly nice move up here and then another move back down. There was, enough room in here to actually, find a few decent moves today. So, not a lot of trades. A lot of these are green, but really a lot of these that are green could be real close or almost right there at being solid trades. But there's, I'll explain them. There's some little something about them that I don't like or that makes them a little bit more suspect. So, but I'm not going to beat around the bush today. It's getting late, so I'm going to go ahead and go through this and we'll wrap it up for today. But the first trade, we didn't get a trade till after the open. This was right after 7 o'clock, just after I'd sat down and got my charts and everything and kind of had everything looking at it. And it just didn't close bearish enough for me. It would have worked. It is a second entry counting off the lows, but this looks rangy, when you're inside the overnight stuff. And there does appear to be two legs down there. So it's a double test of this high too. You can see that we tested it once, we tested it twice. If this would have been more bearish, I'd say go for it. But the fact that it's somewhat neutral and really you'd have to put your safety stop up here, it's a pretty risky trade in that sense. So I'm not even going to mark it green. Generally, what I want to see on a trade like this is another failed attempt to go higher, and you get that right here. And so now you got a double test of this. You got a double top, triple top, and then a lower high. Again, it's not a perfect bar, but it's a little small bar, low risk. It's at the high of what is obviously strong resistance now, and we made a lower high, so I like that one. I thought I was going to get fooled here for a little bit. When it turns back up there, but when it turned back down and went out the other side, I like adding on there. Okay, I had a slight interruption, but I think we were talking about this trade. But yeah, you got a double top, and then you get another double test, and you get that little trap there. It made this one a little shaky, but if you held on there, you wouldn't have got stopped out, and you get you get a double load, quick move down, and then it starts going sideways here. I like this one because it looked like it was going to be a failed second entry long, but I definitely wouldn't go short into all that support right there. That's more of a breakout pullback short, and we'd bounced here a couple of times before, so there's a good chance we're going to bounce here again. And when it makes that little next jog down and fails and gives you a little bullish bar there, I like that one. Generally, you want a higher low, and you get one here, but so you might have even entered here, but that's such a big bar, and it's right into that double top. It looks like it's going to be a little fail up, so I think you're better off to skip that one. But when it comes down here and makes that failed second entry short and heads up again, it actually went out this side and then turned and went straight out the top. That generally, you've trapped people there. It's close to this high, so you want to make sure you get in here far enough back. So I'd want to wait for it to break ahead, maybe put a limit order. And you see it would have come back right here all the way to here and filled you. So you could have got filled all the way back to here on it. And then it pulls back again. The only reason this is not blue is because it's so close to these highs here, and it's turned down there every time. You see it looked like it was going to turn down there again. So the only way you can get in this one if it comes back enough and you got room to get out, which you don't on my chart. Maybe your bar is a little different. So I thought I'd mark it green, but I'm not crazy about that one. And of course, this turns out to be a nice move. But if you got in on this one, you'd still be riding this one. So that would have worked out perfect to let it pull back here and enter, and then you still had room to get out before here. So you might have caught a runner if you caught either one of those. And then it pulls back here and gives you, notice that's a double bottom, so first entry short, second entry short, bounce off the EMA. But it's a first entry. This is a range, looking like a range day. We aren't to the highs yet, and we're probably gonna go try a retest here. But you're better off to wait on the second entry, and then that comes right here into a double top. And so you're better off to wait, and then of course it does try to go higher and fail, and you get that second entry short right there. I would have liked for this to have been below the EMA, but that's still on a range day with a double test rule and all that. That's probably worth risking. Then it pulls back and gives you a failed second entry short. Your entry is below one tick below this bar, but your stop has to go above the high of the swing, so it has to go above this bar. And this is like a repeat almost of this right here. Turns up and fails out the top, instantly goes down. Just have a stop sitting right there. And it comes back again and gives another test. The only reason, and this does confirm the trend line, but it's a very neutral bar. So it's a second entry short counting off the lows. It's a double test to the high. There's a lot of reasons to like it. It confirms the trend line. But it's just such a neutral bar. I'm not crazy about it. So I did mark it green. And then it tries to come back and it actually goes out the top here and turns down. But then you're right into these lows here, which I don't have my trend line. But you can see that's just really risky to go short there. We are working down, up, back and forth in a channel here. We're not near the bottom of that channel. So you could consider that one. And in the end, I believe this channel is actually further down. Notice that gap right there. And then if you move this one down, then you got another pretty good fit right across there. So I'm thinking that's where the actual midline is. Sometimes these things will adjust a little bit, but I still kept it up here. And it looked like an overshoot down here. That's the way I originally had it, so I just left it that way. And of course, this turns out to be a great move. And you wouldn't have caught this move unless you got one of these entries here. But that shows you why sometimes being a little aggressive can, you're taking more risk, but the payoff is generally a little better. So same thing down here. This is a little bit risky. Let me move that. You can't really see that bar real good. But it's a failed break below the overnight low. It's a huge move down. We've been away from the EMA. Look how far we are from the EMA there. We're probably going to snap back. Again, it's often your best to wait on a higher low, which comes here, and then you don't want to be going long there either. It's still a good ways away from the EMA, but it's not a very good setup. Then by here, you're too close to the midline of the EMA. So, but I'll be honest with you, I'm probably going to take that trade most days, especially when you've been that far away from the EMA. It's going to snap back to that EMA soon. And there's only 3 ticks there, so you might have let this break higher and then pull back, which it did. And you might have even cut that down to 2 ticks. And then it's pretty low risk being that far away from the EMA and only risking 2 points, because you may catch the low of the day here. It turns out to be down here, but you don't know that. And if it wasn't so late in the day and this bar would have broke higher here, I'd have said go long here too. But when you got those 2 bar matching highs there, with it still going lower and overshooting what looked like the original 2-tier channel, I'd just be real leery of that one. You could probably argue for it to be green, but I'm not crazy about it. Not that late in the day. So yeah, it's just a range day. We had a little trend up, and then we had a bigger trend channel on the way down. And really, your last trade was about lunchtime. The rest of these were pretty risky. So, but this was your best movement here, and so sometimes taking a little risk pays off. So this back. But yeah, not much else we can say about today. It wasn't too bad. It wasn't too hard a day. There weren't a lot of trades today. But again, some of these green ones you probably could argue for them to be right there on the borderline. And if you took them and you saw them, then I wouldn't be too concerned about it if you because they're not that hard to see. They're just some question marks. I mean, how many times have we seen these kind of trades fail lately where it comes back and you think it's going to go higher and then it goes down, or right here you would have went down a tick or two and then turned up, but you didn't get a lot of that today. So things kind of played out more normally. So maybe things are going to kind of get back to normal again. I wouldn't say things are crazy out of the norm, but all that those tight ranges and just lots of failures and lots of traps, double traps and things like that the last couple of weeks. So we seem to be working through that now. Let's hope that continues. But anyway, I'm going to wrap it up. We'll be back again to do it tomorrow. This is Mack with PriceActionTradingSystem.com, and we'll see you next time.